All right, so this is a real peek behind the curtain, something I have never done before. So we'll see if this works at all. I'm going to show you some of my demos that I have so far and some of the ideas that I have for the album. And we'll start with something I was working on Tuesday after I had determined on Monday that I wanted to do this project. So I sat down just to see if I could get some kind of vibe, kind of a cornerstone of like the theme of the album, or kind of something to work with. So I took a little bit of inspiration from some tracks I've been recently listening to by Colony House, the band Camino, a couple of others, and came up with this idea. So just some scratch stuff. So let's give it a listen here. So this intro part I'm thinking would be with like a vocoder vocal intro. I've always wanted to do that. That's actually guitar audio from my laptop. Not bad. So this chorus here, I'm not really 100% sure about, but the verse will kind of start something along the lines of let's see if I can remember how it goes here. Just got a few. Turning 35 soon. Lost some drum. 62. Alright, so here it's I'm turning 35 soon. I've lost some jobs. My mom at 62. Da 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 da. And then don't know what I'm doing for the chorus yet, but basically just this line of like I'm turning 35 soon. Think we should just start off right off the bat with kind of the impetus of this album project. So that's where I'm at with this one, and kind of just figuring out what to do with it. Kind of just using this very it's doing my guitar is tuned to D standard. Just kind of using a very light strum, and then for the tones, I have this firewood felt piano, and from Spitfire, and I really like how it sounds. Get a little peek of that. So this kind of, these are the bass tones that I'm going for. And then I'll probably record a real bass for most of these, but just this sort of like darker, vintagey bass tone. And then I've layered in some pads. So this is just kind of the overall vibe. These are almost like a Rhodes. Rhodes style, and then I have this very washy pad. So when you put those things together, get that, and then I just hooked up the laptop. This is straight off the laptop mic, just to get the guitars down. Sounds all right, actually. So I'd like to get that specific type of tone, maybe on a better microphone. And I'm using this Warm Soft Kit preset. Just using Logic drums for this. So anyway, that is this one, tentatively titled 35. And when I was looking through some of my demos that I had been working on, I came across this, which I have zero recollection of making. But I think it was in May. I always title my projects on the date that I do them, so I remember when they were. So May 26th, I think I was just sitting on the couch watching my wife play video games and was kind of looking for something really cinematic. So if I had vocals for this, I honestly don't recall. So some of the same patches that I just used for 35, and it's got an interesting thing. I need to do more with the drums, but we got the firewood felt with the still moment. So here it is. So that is May 26th. We'll turn down the piano just a little bit. And it's kind of very cinematic. I don't have any lyrics for it just yet, but it sort of fits the same vibe. And then for a couple other ideas, I've got this is a song of mine called Hey Kid. I had been working on it already this year, so might be a little bit like cheating because I've got it. This one I actually have drums recorded for from my good friend Luke O'Kelly in Georgia. Incredible drummer. Worked with him before. So this just has my iPhone scratch track, but everything and MIDI, everything else. And I did do guitars on my Gretsch. A little sneak peek. So you can hear the click from my scratch track. So that could be, I feel like it kind of, if the album is going to be very like personal and vulnerable, then this is a song I wrote kind of as an, to my younger self. And I feel like it belongs. So might be a lead single or something. I think I have a lot to work with there, obviously with real drums and other things. So I just don't want it to sound too out of place with the rest of it if everything else is Logic drums and this one's real drums. But working through that. And then I've got another one here called Relight that I wrote for my annual album writing month, which is February for me, through a February album writing month. And I think in 2021, I only wrote like one song, and this was it. So I was just re listening to it, and it's got a lot of the same instruments. So I feel like it has some potential for this album. So we'll give it a little listen.
Telescope, dimly, faintly glass, blurry and burned, I recognize a figure running through the smoke. I'm on a tightrope, grabbing at air for anything to hold. I believe in the lies that I'm running out of hope.
That's Relight. Kind of digging it. I hadn't listened to it in quite some time, and sounds pretty good as for a demo already. So I'm definitely thinking about working with that one. And then this one is one that I wrote this past February, uh, called "I'm Not Ready," and really just a song about I'm not ready to change. I'm not ready for change and be uncomfortable. And I was like, man, that's me right now. So it sounds very like early James Bay singer songwriter ish. So there might be some things I need to change on it, but this is the demo I have for it currently.
Got my eyes on the exit, waiting where you left it. Senses at 11, wondering if our future has come true. Nose to the grindstone, waiting for your ringtone. Dreading being alone, suffering, even though you already knew. Change is my nemesis. They say ignorance is bliss. Do you think you are? I'm at home inside these whitewashed walls. Who do you think I am? I'm at peace with my head buried in the sand. Got my ears to the asphalt, wanna know it's my fault. Wounds filling with salt, squandering hope of a future with you. Finger on the heartbeat, wanting off the hot seat, just the way you got me pondering.
So that's I'm not ready. Definitely on the fence about it, but it's an option for this project. So another song idea that I have, and hopefully he's okay with me sharing this. I did a co-write with my good friend Aiden Moy, and I don't even know. I think this was like 2023. So just I'll play a little snippet of it.
On the road, it all looks the same. I can't tell minutes from the days. The trees are ticking, tick, tick, ticking by. As I go on, begging questions why. My mind is a blurry haze. I've been a horse with no rider, a singer with no song, and I start to wonder where I belong.
So yeah, so could be an option for that. But yeah, so this is kind of our starting point though. So I'm gonna try to build some tracks to go along with this. it.
I'm turning 35 soon. Lost some jobs, lost my mom at 62. Harder and harder to say goodbye. I'm turning 35 soon. Lost some jobs, lost my mom at 62. Harder and harder to say. I'm turning 35 soon. Lost some jobs, lost my mom at 30. Keep doing that. Okay, let's try it again. I'm turning 35 soon. I lost some jobs, lost my mom at 62. Harder and harder to say goodbye. Na, 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 na. Something like that. I'm turning 35 soon. Lost some jobs, lost my mom at 62. It's harder and harder to say goodbye. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. I'm turning 35 soon. Da 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 da. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Something like that. All right, well, that is week one. We've got a few songs, we've got some vibes, we've got some ideas, and I will tune in next time.